Card reading is a form of fortune-telling or divination, whereby practitioners use tarot cards to gain insight into the past, present, or future. They frame a question, then draw cards to interpret possible answers. It is a practice that can be traced back to the 1400s and continues to be popular today. However, it is not without its critics, mostly from religious groups who associated with the occult and discredit its practitioners as opportunistic charlatans. Given these obstacles, enterprising readers search for ways to expand their customer base, to make readings less dark or mysterious and more comfortable or familiar. Don Clemente's Loteria game was created in 1887 in Mexico and became widely popular at fairs. It uses cards with characters or everyday objects arranged in rows and columns, and played in a similar fashion as bingo. In the 1930s, the game became so popular that the Catholic Church created their version using saints or religious articles. Thusly, devout Catholics could play the game without the sinful connotations associated to tarot cards. During the game, each of the 54 cards is announced with a canto or phrase that describes the card briefly. It's this aspect of the game that provided tarot readers with the familiar, comfortable proxy they were looking for. I selected 10 of the most iconic cards to explain how they might be used in a reading. But before we continue, please take a moment to subscribe, like, leave a comment, because your support may avert misfortune to the channel. Now, let's see what those cards may reveal to us. El que le cantó a San Pedro no le volverá a cantar. The one who sang for St. Peter won't return to sing again. Latin America is largely of the Catholic faith, so most are familiar with the story of Jesus telling his disciple Peter that before the cock crows, he would deny him 3 times. That's what El Gallo is doing for us here. He's warning us of betrayal by someone close, that someone we thought was a friend will forsake us in our time of need to save their own skin or for selfish reasons. We need to keep an eye out, because just as Jesus knew Peter would betray him, we have a history of being let down by this particular person. So we need to heed the warning, or the rooster won't come back to warn us again. La dama puliendo el paso por toda la calle real. The lady polishes as she steps all along the royal street. A lady walks down the street like a queen, exuding grace, elegance, and dignity as she passes by. This card tells us that one needs to cut the drama and handle a particular situation with the grace and dignity of a lady. But it could also have a different meaning. Someone may be showing off, their sole purpose, the admiration of others. ¿Por qué le corres, cobarde, trayendo tan buen puñal? Why are you running like a coward when you have such a good knife? Why indeed run away from the problem when you have the ability to solve it? This card assures you of the skills, talents, and resources you need to tackle the challenge. All that's left is the courage to face it. So be brave like El Valiente. Put behind the fear and worry, because you have every reason to succeed. El farol de los enamorados, the lantern for lovers. Love and romance are around, and these strong emotions may be influencing a situation. Use the moon's light to see your way clearly. Do not let torrid passion blind you during this time. But the card may also mean that it's time to be with your partner, because love is the greatest gift of all, so it's important to devote time to each other. Con los cantos de sirena no te vayas a marear. Don't get dizzy with the mermaid's song. The mythological creature whose song was so enchanting it lured sailors to a watery grave when they heard it. The Greek hero Ulysses devised a plan to hear the song safely. He had his men tie him to the mast of his ship after he plugged their ears with beeswax, so they would not hear the siren song. In this manner, Ulysses was able to listen to the song and protect his life. The card is not really warning you about drowning, but about not losing your head to emotions. Keep your wits and don't give in to temptation. It could also be warning you about someone telling you what you want to hear. So take some precautions like Ulysses did, or else you might drown in a sea of deceit. Ah, qué borracho tan necio, ya no lo puedo aguantar. What a foolish drunk, I can't take him anymore. The card may mean that someone is drinking a little too much, or if alcohol is not involved, it may mean that someone is acting foolish, like a drunk, and they need to cut it out. Always be aware of your actions and how they might be perceived by others. The card may also be a warning about overindulgence. Remember, everything in moderation, because excess will harm you eventually. Pórtate bien, cuatito, si no, te lleva el coloradito. Behave yourself, buddy, so the little red one doesn't take you away. This isn't Satan himself, rather this is a little devil. The troubles he brings are more irritations and day-to-day bothers than any true evil. He maliciously rains down grief upon you to cause a reaction. The card is advising you to make sure everything is done correctly, so you can stay out of trouble and keep from losing your temper. Or that someone is making trouble for you, so you need to handle it appropriately and avoid being swept along by their shenanigans. Rema que rema va Lupita, sentada en su chalupita. Lupita paddles as she may, sitting in her little boat. Take things slowly and keep on a steady course. You will get things done and reach the goal. Just because the boat is small doesn't mean that it isn't effective. This card is telling you that you don't need grand gestures or large resources to accomplish your goals, if you parcel your tasks into small loads. Handle situations one at a time whenever possible, and keep a steady course. La cobija de los pobres, the blanket of the poor. There's always help no matter how bad things may seem. Look to the bright side of life and take the help offered to you by others, whether they be family, friends, or even strangers sometimes. This card is telling you that just like the sun shines every day, hope is likewise eternal. It also means that you should help others less fortunate when you can, and be the sunshine in their life as well. El que se comió el azúcar, he who ate the sugar. A problematic card given today's socio-political environment, but not meant as a pejorative originally. For many years, most of Latin America acquired their sugar by the refining of sugarcane from the Caribbean islands. It just so happens that most of these islands are populated by the descendants of the slave trade. So, therefore, they must be sweet, happy, good-natured people. It was this woefully naive perception that contributed to the art design of the card, which unfortunately was, perhaps, reinforced with the entertainment imports from the US at around the same time. Nevertheless, the card is advising you to be a sweet, friendly, easygoing person, to see the lighter side and don't let your troubles get you down. However, it could also indicate that someone is not taking the situation as seriously as they should. My intention with this video was not to promote card reading or even disprove it, but to examine how a game I grew up with has crossed over into this genre like so many others, its colorful characters and design influencing pop culture art. For over 100 years, families enjoyed their time together playing. Many of us remember spending Christmas, New Year's, or birthdays sitting with our parents, cousins, and grandparents with this game. A 5-year-old can play next to a 95-year-old, A truly transgenerational game that hasn't waned in appeal since 1887. So maybe its resemblance to tarot cards is just coincidental. Maybe there's nothing to it. Maybe. Hey, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment, as your support keeps the channel going. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.